The Arctic is a stage for those who survive only by being stronger than the cold. Across this white kingdom of ice, where wind lashes through fractured floes, the polar bear emerges as a raw block of primal power. Each heavy step crushes brittle ice. Each stretch drives its whole body into a single, decisive moment of survival. Massive legs, a thick layer of fat, and a territorial instinct lifted to the rank of the silent ruler of the far north. In a place with no room for mistakes, even one encounter is enough to make every other creature turn away. Polar bears are the largest land-dwelling mammals in the Arctic. Adult males typically weigh 900 to 1,600 pounds. Their double-layer coat, hollow inside like tiny tubes, traps heat and reflects light, letting them nearly blend into the white ice. Beneath that fur lies a thick layer of fat that protects the body even when temperatures fall below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. Their paws, almost 12 inches wide, work like snowshoes, spreading weight and gripping thin, slippery ice. With strong endurance, polar bears can swim for dozens of miles without resting, sometimes traveling more than 30 to 40 miles to reach new ice. In a world where light and food shift with the seasons, each polar bear stands as proof of the Arctic ecosystem's extraordinary ability to adapt. In the polar bear's natural diet, ringed seals and bearded seals are the most important energy source. They are rich in fat, helping bears store fuel to endure the long, lean months. On the quiet ice, every small sign, from breathing holes to slide marks, can guide a bear toward prey. An encounter begins with absolute patience. The bear lies motionless for hours beside a breathing hole, waiting for the moment a seal surfaces. When the instant comes, the bear's rush happens in a split second, using the power of its forelegs and body weight to secure the prey quickly before it can slip back into the water. It also makes almost no sound while quietly swimming up behind a seal near the edge of the ice. From the water, the bear suddenly surges upward with stored strength, closing the distance in an instant. The chase ends fast, but it does not always go smoothly. The success rate of this tactic is only about 10 to 20%, turning every approach into a major gamble between remaining energy and the risk of going without food. When a hunt succeeds, the energy-dense fat helps the bear hold its body heat, regain strength, and stay fed through the melting ice months when hunting becomes harder. In this harsh world, every small win is a lifeline, pulling them through a relentless cycle of survival. A brief moment, yet it carries the balance of the Arctic within it. Among the polar bear's greatest challenges, adult walruses are always near the top. A single walrus can weigh more than 1,500 pounds, built with thick muscle and powerful reactions both on land and in the water. For a bear, approaching such a massive animal often costs more energy than it can gain in return. Encounters usually begin at a disadvantage. On the cold shoreline, adult walruses gather in groups, forming a natural barrier. Their long, strong tusks can deliver forceful pushes, making the bear cautious whenever it tries to get close. In the water, the walrus advantage grows even clearer. They twist quickly and move with ease, leaving the bear few openings to approach. Because of this, instead of facing adults directly, polar bears shift to a different tactic, looking for younger walruses near the beach edge. This is when instinct guided by timing takes over. The bear moves lightly, staying downwind to avoid detection, then makes a sudden rush meant to secure the target before it slips back into the safety of the water. When successful, the rich fat, roughly 100,000 calories, from a young walrus helps the bear recover its strength during the long melt season. In the kingdom of white ice, strength alone doesn't always decide the outcome. Sometimes it is agility that keeps the Arctic's largest predator in rhythm with the harsh world it calls home. In the shallow northern bays, beluga whales often gather with the tide. When the water pulls back, some individuals become trapped in small saltwater pools among the rocks. This is a rare moment when a polar bear can reach an energy source far greater than any seal. The bear stands on high rocky ledges, where the sea breeze carries scent and faint vibrations from beneath the surface. From there, it studies every escape path and every crack in the rocks to calculate the best angle of approach. It tries rushing down from above, but the slope and slippery stone give it no advantage. The bear swims after the belugas, yet in the water, these small whales are much quicker and more agile. With only a few dives, they slip out of reach. Realizing that chasing is impossible, the bear shifts to its final strategy, blocking the exit. It stays completely still at the narrowest point of the channel, where the belugas must pass as the tide rises again. At the moment the whale glides close, the bear suddenly extends its forelegs, using its body weight to secure the target before the water can carry it away. Patience, the ability to read the terrain, and constant tactical adjustments show that belugas are not only a test of strength, but also a test of intellect. On that cold, rocky ground, the polar bear's refined instincts once again reveal why it stands among the greatest predators of the far north. In the white ice world, the narwhal, a whale with a long, spiraled tusk like a spear, rarely becomes a direct target for polar bears. They swim deep, move in pods, and usually surface only in narrow cracks of ice. But if a narwhal were trapped in shallow water as the tide drops, that rare opening could tempt a bear to take the risk. When the narwhal rises to breathe, its long, sharp tusk makes every approach dangerous for a predator. In reality, polar bears do not often catch narwhals, but they know how to use other opportunities: whale remains washed ashore. When a narwhal is pushed onto the beach by waves, that rich supply of food can keep a bear going for weeks, especially during the melt season, when hunting grows harder. Within the harsh cycle of the far north, polar bears endure through watchful instinct, flexibility, and an ability to make use of every trace the ocean leaves behind. During years of deep ice melt, when food becomes extremely scarce, polar bears enter a survival phase harsher than ever. As energy runs low, some large males may turn to targeting their own species, especially younger bears that are not yet able to protect themselves. This is not common behavior, but a last response when nature pushes them to the edge. In the sound of rushing wind, an adult male gains speed, using its size to close the distance. The mother turns to shield her cub, trying to keep it within a safe space but cannot hold the gap. The chase drives them toward a shallow pool covered by thin ice. The cub slips, and the male seizes the opening, using his weight to overpower it before the mother can pull the cub away. In the ecological picture, this behavior is not cruelty, but a survival strategy of a species facing extreme food shortages. A male targeting a cub helps it regain energy and can also prompt the female to return to her breeding cycle, an ancient instinct found in several large mammals. Beyond these encounters, bears still rely on far less confrontational food sources. Marine animals washed ashore. From whales to narwhals to seals, each washed-up animal remains can feed them for many days, sometimes weeks. In these harsh conditions, such quiet offerings from the ocean become lifelines across the frozen north. Through all of this severity, polar bears continue to adapt, powerful yet vulnerable, mirroring the changing pulse of the Arctic itself. As food from the sea becomes scarce, polar bears are forced to look for less familiar options. One of these is the eggs of seabirds nesting on steep cliffs, where even a small misstep could send a bear sliding down cold, sharp rock. The scent of eggs, the feathers, and the warmth of the nest drive it to climb higher, ignoring the warning pecks from hundreds of birds protecting their nests. The energy from eggs is far lower than what a seal or whale provides, but during long periods of shortage, each nest becomes an important source of renewal. On those windswept cliffs, the polar bear once again proves its remarkable ability to adapt, always finding a new path of survival, even in the most difficult seasons. On a wind-battered mountainside, the grizzly can surge to nearly 35 miles per hour over a short burst. But speed is only the opening act. The real arena is a battle of wits, where terrain and energy guide every step. Whoever reads the wind more precisely keeps the rhythm. Whoever chooses the smarter line of travel takes control. And when the claim over the prey is challenged, that razor-thin moment will speak last. In the headwater months, cold currents at 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit are charged with life. Salmon return by a chemical map imprinted in their bodies, a journey of hundreds of miles upstream. For the grizzly, this is more than a meal. It is the year's biggest recharge. Protein, fat, and calories are stored day by day, becoming the winter fat layer ahead. Speed matters less than position. It stands in the shallows where rocks form steps, watching for chances to take salmon that must launch themselves above the surface to fight the flow. Or when an eddy turns the water back, the fish tilts off balance for half a beat, and that is the moment the bear acts. No need to sprint. It only needs to lock a foothold, keep a low center of gravity, and make a precise catch. Once satisfied, it carries the fish to a rocky bar and focuses on the most energy-rich parts. A mature salmon can hold over 2,000 calories, a perfect biological battery for a grizzly in fattening season. Not all remains are used. The rest go to ravens and martens, and even to the riverside forest, where nitrogen and organic matter enrich the soil for the next generation of trees. A discrete ecological loop. Salmon feed the forest feeds insects, and the bear is one link in the right place, the right season, the right moment. Mountain goats are creatures of the cliff. Light in weight, with cloven hooves that grip ledges just a few inches wide, they are born into a world of steep rhythms. Their bodies are built for inclined planes, instant angle-checking steps, and sharp turns that still hold balance. When the grizzly spots a target, an instinctive guide urges it to accelerate. But a 700-pound body of muscle is not well matched to a steep mountainside. Every extra step costs energy. By the time the bear reaches the ridge, it is too late. The mountain goat has taken a remarkably secure position, a narrow ledge beyond reach. The bear gauges the gap and understands that a single misstep would mean losing all footing. It backs away from the edge, not from inferiority, but because this place does not favor its strengths. This chance closes, but the energy is preserved for another situation, on terrain where the ground will be more on its side. In the early northern summer, fresh grass thickens and marshes warm to 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. This is when wolf packs increase their search pace, covering 10 to 20 miles in a single night to probe for opportunity. With the grizzly's strength, it does not view wolves as equal rivals. Yet it knows that with 6 to 10 individuals, wolves can apply enough pressure to tip the balance of food possession. When facing a pack, the bear rarely initiates a direct clash. It probes and tests, applying pressure through presence and size. If the pack is large enough, they show little hesitation. Wolves rotate like a moving saw, keep their distance, and wait for the bear to pivot off axis. If the bear commits in the wrong angle, the formation quickly presses a vulnerable flank. At times, the momentum favors the wolves, and the bear must leave and yield the meal. But most of the time, the strength of an adult grizzly is enough to push them back. No dramatic force is needed. A short rush toward the nearest encroaching wolf breaks the crescent, and the pack slides to the edges. The encounter ends in quiet. The wolves reassess the risk and fade from view. The bear keeps the reward simply by standing in the right place, at the right angle. A victory of position, not of force. At the boundary of shore and current, the moose steps out like a pillar of the ecosystem. A bull weighs about 900 to 1,200 pounds, stands 6 to 7 feet at the shoulder, and carries antlers spanning nearly 6 feet, at once scanning antennas and a rotating fence. For a 600 to 800 pound grizzly, this is not a simple target. The bear rarely challenges a prime bull head-on. Instinct and experience pull it toward reasonable openings. A calf or an antlerless cow, individuals with limited reach. Its tactic is to guide the moose toward the water's edge, turning the river into a narrow doorway. Here, the bear's advantages come into play, and it seldom misses the opportunity. When going for a young moose, it needs only one precise push of direction. The gap tightens. It waits for the moment the mother loses focus, then closes the distance. The soundscape fades. The pursuit ends by the logic of energy, without spectacle. Yet the northern forest reserves its rebuttal. At times, a full-grown moose sets its shoulders like a moving ridge. The forelegs swing forward with force. Water lifts into a screen, and a single sweep can break the pursuer's rhythm. The bear reads that signal and withdraws, saving its reserves for another time. The long game of a calculator of chances. On the waterline, the one who respects risk and understands terrain goes farther. And the forest, after every ripple, settles like glass, keeping the answer hidden for the next encounter. Deer are the grizzly's strategic energy reserve, lean meat with just enough fat. More importantly, deer often move along humus-rich paths at the mountain's base, routes the bear can anticipate. When fish are scarce or berries thin, deer become a reward worth the effort. For this quarry, the grizzly doesn't seek top speed. It seeks position. Once it spots a deer, the bear bursts briefly, then settles into a steady pace. It understands that terrain is the factor most likely to prompt a mistake. The bear reads that map like a road-savvy traveler, nudging the line, adding pressure from behind, waiting for the deer to err on its own. One hurried step, and the outcome is set. The pursuit ends with intuition and primal strength. No theatrics, just persistence, a smart line of travel, and a precise reading of the ground. By late autumn, when temperatures dip to 20 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit and snow clings to the edges of the grass, the grizzly shifts modes. After weeks of supercharging energy, it searches for a den on a north-facing slope, under a fallen pine root, or beneath a dry rock shelf. This is not just shelter. This is the vault that holds energy for months with no foraging. Inside, the body changes rhythm. Heart rate drops from about 50 to 60 beats per minute down to 8 to 15. Body temperature does not fall as much as rodents, but it still settles slightly lower at around 91 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Breathing slows, energy use drops, and the fat built from salmon and berries becomes a quiet heater that sustains muscle and vital systems through months of winter storms. For females, the cold season is also birth season. In midwinter, 1 to 3 cubs, each the size of a loaf of bread, only 1 to 2 pounds, release their first cries within the warm space near their mother. They drink high-fat milk and grow day by day in the gentle darkness of the den until spring light arrives. When warm winds return to 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, the bear opens its eyes to a new world. It steps out lightly, having lost a significant share of weight, yet keeping the muscle it needs. Life resumes, as if the line was never broken. Fresh tracks on damp snow, pine scent, and dark soil opening the path for the next cycle of survival. Across the cold grasslands, the bison is the North's vast energy reserve. A mature bull can weigh over 1,500 pounds, stand nearly 6 feet at the shoulder, and carry a head built to drive into the wind. Yet the grizzly does not always choose a direct confrontation. It favors individuals that are separated from the herd, younger or showing signs of fatigue. When the right opening appears, its preferred tactic is still to shape the angle. It guides the bison toward the river's flow, where slick footing and deeper water reduce resistance. The pursuit settles soon after, along the far bank. After heavy expenditures, the bear quickly restores its energy balance. It does not overlook bison remains left on the landscape, or portions unfinished after the efforts of other hunters. An abundant resource, if approached at the right moment. On wind-battered prairie, the bear chooses its arena: spend less, gain more, leaving the heavy lifting to the land itself. The Arctic is still cold, but its harshness is changing with each season, and polar bears have to travel farther to hold on to life. From broken ice to steep cliffs to retreating tides, every strategy is a reminder that adaptation is how nature endures. Those white tracks do not only tell the story of a predator, but also the fragility of the entire far northern ecosystem. If viewers want to keep following wild journeys like this, they can hit like and subscribe so they do not miss the next episodes. The frozen sea still holds many secrets, and the journey is not over yet.